Hi there and welcome to BRIT Earth. I'm Tiara.
And I'm Duncan. Today we have a very special show lined up for you. We have everything from animation to music and dance performances.
Plus some skits, a mockumentary and much, much more.
So today we want to discuss the planet with you.
It's a pretty broad subject.
We'll be looking at the past, how we think the Earth began and how that affects us today.
We'll also be looking at the present in the weird and wonderful situations we find ourselves in today, and then the future, to see if we have anything to look forward to.
Let's start right at the beginning. At the dawn of time, 4.5 billion years ago, gravity was formed and started pulling in dust and gas.
Duncan, I'm going to stop you right there, my love. We'd be here for billions of years if you carried on waffling, so how about instead we just ask a few other people about their thoughts on how the Earth began?
Fine, but I didn't get Judas and Mary and what's his name?
As a Christian, I believe that the heavens and the earth was created by God. I was raised in the church. I've always gone to church throughout my life at different points, and that's something that I firmly believe. As I said, because I was brought up raised in the church, and according to the Bible, that's what we was told happened, and because I continued to read the Bible and continue to go to church, that is something that was reinforced, so that's what I believe. But I appreciate that some people have different points of views, and that's fine. I don't have any rituals, but I do pray, not religiously, but I do pray. I do try to go to church.
What's a religious or cultural ritual that gives you peace of mind?
Prayer, speaking to God, even in the most casual sense, having a conversation when I'm having a hard time with things, and that gives me peace of mind. That makes me feel better about things, and also singing sometimes helps, or even listen to gospel music.
Do you really believe the earth is in danger?
Yes, I do. It's a concern, and maybe not so much in this lifetime, although things are changing rapidly, but I do have concerns about the earth that my children will be left with and their children. I have made some changes, I say small. Things like not running the tap when I'm brushing my teeth or washing up. Might have been something that I did several years ago, but since being more aware, I don't do that. And I'm more aware about some of my purchases, so when I do buy things like wet wipes, I ensure that the ones that are biodegradable. But there are some other things that I could make more of a change where I haven't. For example, my choice of clothes, my choice of car. I have gone from a diesel car to a petrol car, however I don't have an electric car, which obviously would contribute probably most significantly. I have made the choice to reduce my meat intake, but I must admit it wasn't necessarily because of the impacts that certain meat consumption has on the earth.
How do you believe that the earth came about?
I think that it was more science than religion, and that it was the whole world kind of blew up or something. I don't know the scientific things, but then in regards to humans, I think we were evolved from monkeys or something along the line. But then if religion was put in it, I think that they're all morals. I think that those morals were created so that people could learn the right things to do with their lives and what the right thing to do and be honest.
David Attenborough's first life, the first life on Earth.
How do you know that?
First life. We're the intruders of Earth.
No, we're not, because we evolved from apes. Why did he just get that? We're just dumped on this planet by aliens or something.
Is there a camera crew sit there filming that?
Yeah, that's everyone's like, stay quiet, boy. The birth of a wildebeest. What do you mean, where are we? Just giving birth to a baby that's going to be...
How long has that baby been alive? We just watched that baby get born.
How is he that big?
And now the cheetahs are coming.
They're hyenas or Jesus. Why would they even show this? What is that?
Oh my god.
Is that an umbilical
What were you
cord?
doing when you were born?
I'm just crying.
I've just been born. Wait, I've just been born, man.
Is this Sheffield?
I'm sorry, are we in Sheffield? I'm just been born.
This is
man.
David Attenborough in Africa. Are we in Sheffield?
Why?
I don't know.
Sheffield is the cool.
It's the capital of the universe.
He just rocked up. He just
That's a camera.
the tortoise just turned up out of nowhere.
It's not real. Had enough of these tours. Oh.
Don't kick the camera. Kick my camera.
I'm not going around crocodiles in my life.
Neither am I.
Well, if you go to a zoo, you might.
You might if you go to the zoo.
I don't want to go to a zoo with crocodiles. Look at that. That's a dinosaur. Bro, one of them is dead.
Oh! He's like, what is going on here, fellas? Jeez, what is going on?
What's happening in the water, boss?
Hi, and welcome back to Brit Earth. If you've just joined us, this is the Brit Show where we are talking all things Earth.
And if you've been with us from the start, you'd be happy to know that Duncan has now learned who Jesus is.
We're now looking at the current state of the planet and if we're going to be okay or not.
Do you think we're going to be okay, Duncan?
Oh yeah, we'll be fine.
Tragic.
Tragic?
Oh yeah, we have loads to do.
We do?
Well, I mean, right now there are forest fires everywhere. California's on fire, as is the Amazon rainforest, with 17% of it having been burnt since 1970. All of that smoke, mixing with our precious fossil fuels that have been exploited and used at an exponential rate just for our Wi-Fi, burning for the past 200 years, heading straight to the edges of our atmosphere, causing greenhouse gases to bounce back to us, causing a rise in temperature, therefore causing the ice caps to melt, leading to flooding of the UK and the US, to name a few countries. Not only that, but those ice caps will have stored millennium-old diseases that will be set free, and if the overheating, or flooding, or potential ice age, or zombies, or racial injustice, the patriarchy, the overconsumption in our capitalist society that only assists the rich white men that are in charge, if that hasn't wiped us out, then I mean, those diseases definitely will.
Zombies?
I mean, that part was a joke.
I guess we do have a lot to do then.
Oh, definitely. But I mean, Sven's doing most of the work, actually.
Sven?
Sven.
Hi Sven, pleasure to meet you. Please make yourself comfortable.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, do you think you could tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Sven. I'm an activist. You already know that. What you don't know is, when I was 5, I picked strawberries in the fields of Dubai with my mother. I also flew a kite at the age of 7, and I've flown 5 jumbo jets to, you wouldn't bloody believe it, Gatwick Airport on the 9th of July. And I'm a visionary. I make dreams come true for me and for you.
There is no planet B.
Sven is the founder, creator, CEO and COO of a activist group called
Saving Victims of the Environment Now. It just came to me in a dream. There are victims of the environment that need saving right now. Okay? And that's what I'm here to do. I'm an activist, and there ain't anyone who's gonna tell me that I'm wrong, because I'm right. Sven.
That's some powerful stuff. I can only imagine life as a climate activist is very challenging.
It is challenging. I mean, I'm a white, cis, heterosexual man. People always tell me, Sven, you shouldn't be doing this job. You know what I'm all about? Defying expectations.
There is no planet B. There is no planet B.
I studied law and environment at Oxford for the past 4 years. And last week, I went to one of those protests that Sven encourages, and he got me lying down on the side of the road because I caught more of a activist angle.
There is no planet. James, you're not getting the right side of my face.
You look good on this side.
James, it's my left side.
Sorry.
James, what? What do you say?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, who?
Yes, sir. Planet B.
So, Sven, how do you feel when people don't turn up to your protests?
No, people always turn up. Whether it's in a physical sense or a spiritual sense.
Mate, no one turns up to any of these protest things that he does. Like, I never see Sven with anyone. I think I'm his only friend.
There is no planet B. There is no planet B. Not for me.
Sven, how long have you been vegan for?
I've been vegan ever since I can remember. Well, that is before my parents used to shove meat down my throat. You see, they were carnivores. They didn't know what was right for them. I remember when I was 7 and I had a carbon. My grandma was trying to give it to me for dinner. I was 6. The lights were low. She was angry. I vomited everywhere. My grandma said, clean it up, eat it back. I said, Grandma, I don't eat meat. I am a vegan. I am a vegan.
Sven, activist.
So, Sven, do you miss meat?
I didn't choose to stop eating meat, okay? It wasn't a choice. It was a path. It was a purpose. I have to do it because I'm against murder. It's pretty simple, okay? Look, I took one path. You're all taking the other path. You tell me, which path do you want to go down?
Essentially, what I'm doing here is I'm stopping cars from travelling on this road. Cancel out carbon emission. There's too much carbon emission in this world. You breathe in, you're breathing in carbon emission. Oh, Sven. It's a shame I'm the only one with the balls to do this. You know, I give you 10 minutes and the feds will be here.
I don't even get paid for this.
Does it get lonely when people don't turn up to your protests?
People don't turn up to my protests because they don't know about my protests, okay? That's why I have little James, you know. He ain't the brightest bulb in the pack, but he's about 12 watts of good joy. And I'll tell you one thing, right? People didn't used to know about climate change. And people don't know about Sven. People know about climate change. And people will know about Sven.
Hi guys, and welcome back to BRIT Earth.
The Brit School's #1 show about the Earth.
The BRIT School's only show about the Earth.
It's the #1 then, isn't it?
Fair enough. So far we've looked at how people view how the Earth began.
Not only that, but we drifted away from talking about mankind and instead went down the wildlife route with an animated commentary.
Yep, we then looked at the present. We talked about what's happening in the world right now that needs to change.
We then saw a documentary on a deluded activist.
But to be fair to Sven, I guess he was doing everything that needs to be done.
Very true. The easiest thing to do to help prevent climate change is to be a vegetarian.
True. So is protesting and buying from sustainable companies, especially for your clothes, are all really great ways to be eco-friendly.
At the end of this broadcast, you will see petitions to sign, charities to donate to, and great alternatives to food and clothes that, if you have the money, of course, you can start to use.
Yep, now let's look forward to the future.
Let's all try at least.
Next up, we have an awesome piece on what people think about the future of the Earth.
Okay, so sadly I think about destruction because of global warming, and the world just seems like it's not in a good place right now and in the future. Like, you see all these statistics and you just worry about what's going to happen. So I do not have much hope, but at the same time, for humanity, I really just do hope we become more accepting and that we help each other more. That's what I want in life.
A lot of worries to begin with, because I've seen like statistics that we're going to run out of like fresh water in like 26, I think it's 26 or 28 years, and like with like climate change and icebergs melting and just everything seems to be going wrong.
My worries are that we keep on taking and we're not putting anything back in. So, you know, things like plastic, there's not enough being done to solve these issues. You know, we're told that there's going to be like 8 years left before we can't change anything. And I feel like we're not taking that very seriously. I think especially like our age group, we're the kind of ones that are pushing that, but there's not being done further up in the line with like people who actually have power. I think there's a lot that can be done with businesses. It's all about consumption. I think we want everything now and at a really large scale, like fast fashion. You know, there's different trends every single month, and where do all these clothes go that we don't use? It's these kind of things that, you know, and we're just leaving them in land sites and nothing's really happening. So I feel like in that respect we need to sort out how we reuse things, consumption, and just sorting out the planet. There we go.
So when I think about the future of the Earth, and honestly I try not to do that too much, I think I have quite a pessimistic outlook towards it. I think of the climate crisis, what it's doing to the planet now and what it's going to do, which is much worse than anything we've seen. I think of like useless leaders that can't handle a pandemic, can't work together, can't, you know, feed their own country, can't do anything for the people in their country. I think of how, you know, we have an economic system that's destroying millions of people's lives and exploiting, you know, almost everyone in the world except for, you know, few of them who are benefiting, and how that's not going to change. So even though I would like to have a more optimistic outlook towards it, I can't find myself doing that because there's so much negative.
When I think of the future of the Earth, usually I think of us not being here because the Earth is literally on fire, and capitalism only cares about profits and is not profitable for it to be more climate friendly, so it won't be. So we're literally all going to die because of that. And then occasionally I'm like, no, humans want to live, so we will have to change and then things will be better. And not just for the West, but like globally, things will be better.
The beautiful thing about the future is that anything can happen.
We could carry on messing things up now, or if we tried, and some of us are trying, we could see a bright future.
It all depends on what we all do now. You excited for the future, Duncan?
Yes, I am. I genuinely believe at the rate we're going at now, if the older generations weave themselves in, and the industries and the companies and the government all collectively started to try a bit harder, we could see our Earth going on even longer. And these are just the answers to our climate issue. What about you, Tiara? Do you see a bright future?
I mean, there's serious change to be had with the inner workings of our society, whether that's in discrimination through racism, homophobia and sexism. Things need to happen to help prevent that. Many countries have a lot to do to make sure there are equal opportunities for all and an equal way of life. But I think I do see a bright future. This is our home after all, and even if it's too late, I'd like to think the people in power will resolve these issues once they realise it's their home too. We really hope you've enjoyed our show, BRIT Earth.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time on BRIT Earth. Thanks and goodbye.
Bye.